All right, BOZ to the ING, and today we're going over our UFC 324 picks and predictions. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so back. I usually get my predictions out early Friday afternoon, but they're coming out tonight because I had some bullshit with this recording. I recorded it at like 12:30 p.m. Eastern, got fucked up. Then I did it again just now, but like 6:30 to 7. Got fucked up as well. So this is the third try. Third time's a charm. Let's get straight into it. Gaethje versus Pimblett, a really fun fight. But let's start off in the first early prelim with Adam Fugit versus Ty Miller. Ty Miller's coming off a Dana White Contender Series win, and if I remember correctly, he looked pretty damn good in the boxing. It was a scrap. I think he got a decision. But against Adam Fugit loses to the really good guys, the really good killers. And beats the sorry motherfuckers. But I don't think Ty Miller's sorry. I think he's very good. And Adam Fugit, his chin might be shot at this point in his career. Just got dominated by Dulatov, bullied. He's 37 years old. I think Ty Miller is good enough. I don't think he's going to be some crazy star, but I think he's good enough to put Adam Fugit out. He might get a decision win, but I think he could put a late round 1, early round 2 TKO on Adam Fugit and get him out of there. So that's my pick. Ty Miller, round 1 or 2 TKO. Next up, Josh Hockett versus Denzel Freeman. Denzel Freeman in his debut looked decent. It was a bad fight. It was very boring, but, he had good kickboxing fundamentals. Nice fast kicks. I don't remember his hands too much, but he has that big guy defense, that big lanky guy defense where they kind of like lean back. And I feel like guys like him, right? They're so comfortable, and they have like such a strong want to be in those kickboxing ranges and just kind of tit for tat, get you a decision. Like, you can't do that against a guy like Josh Hockett who's going to come in your face. That's what I say about these guys, Josh Hockett, he's fast, he's explosive, he's powerful. He's at a decent size disadvantage. He's a little small, but he's got good wrestling. Denzel Freeman does have good get-up ability, good takedown defense from what I've seen in like regional fights. But Josh Hockett, he's very imposing. And I think against a guy like Denzel Freeman who wants to like stay at range, I think Josh Hockett's going to really disturb him and get a TKO, whether it's on the feet, he's just rushing it, or he rushes in, gets a takedown, gets him on the ground, does some nice ground and pound. So I think it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be a fight like that. It'll be in the first round, in my opinion. I could see Denzel Freeman like keeping this at range, getting back up from takedowns, and making this a decision win for him. But I'm gonna lean with Josh Hockett, the guy with more KO power, more finishing ability in this fight. So yeah, I got Josh Hockett round 1 TKO. This one, Michael Johnson versus Alexander Hernandez. I think Michael Johnson's going to knock out Alexander Hernandez. Alexander Hernandez, looking back to Carlos Diego Ferreira fight, it wasn't that impressive, Carlos Diego Ferreira would have won. He would have won if he didn't lose, But honestly, like, he was beating Hernandez till Hernandez landed that big knockout below, which is, I don't think he could do this against Michael Johnson, Carlos Diego Ferreira is not as crisp in the boxing or as fast or as powerful as Michael Johnson. And Anthony Hernandez, I just think he lacks the fight IQ, lacks the game plan ability. He could have success with the kicks here, but I think it'll be southpaw orthodox. So yeah, he could have some success. But Michael Johnson, he's super fast, and he's still powerful. He's got good hooks, good boxing, susceptible to kicks, like I said. But I feel like when these guys crash, Michael Johnson's able to land first and land harder, whether it's hooks or straight down the middle. But I think it might be a scrap early on, a little like slow to start, but I think Michael Johnson's gonna find his timing in the second round, early in the second round, and get Alexander Hernandez out of there. I just don't think Alexander Hernandez, his last 2 wins aren't that impressive to me compared to Michael Johnson's performance against Zellhuber, Zellhuber is not amazing, made some amazing prospect, but I think just the way these guys fought, Alexander Hernandez, the Chase Hooper fight was whatever. That was a good win, but Chase Hooper's ass on the feet. Diego Ferreira, he didn't look that good to me. Michael Johnson looked very good in his Zellhuber fight. So I'm going to go him, round 2 TKO for Michael Johnson. That's a 3 TKOs to start the card. Early prelims, let's do it. Next up, Charles Johnson versus Alex Perez. Alex Perez, I think will have some success early on. Start strong, getting up close, making it dirty, maybe get some wrestling in. But that's all the success I see him having it's early. I think he could win round 1. But Charles Johnson, he builds in the fights more. We saw that with the Loner Kavanaugh win. And he's going to be able to, I think he's going to be able to keep this at range. Jab, kick, get the uppercuts when Alex Pereira like kind of ducks in, which I'm pretty sure he does. And he's just be able to keep this at range. Maybe get a late finish, but I feel like Alex Pereira is going to be hard to put out. Maybe get a late finish late with the uppercut. But I think I'm going to lean decision on this one. For Charles Johnson, I think I'll be able to keep it at range and just kind of win, especially the second and third round, just kind of make it more his fight and stuff like that. Alex Pereira could get some good leg kicks going, kind of stunt the movement of Charles Johnson, the range management, but I just think it won't be that effective in terms of winning. Could make it closer. I think it'll be a close fight, but I think Charles Johnson's gonna take this fight, put it in his bag, get it done by decision, and work his way up the rankings. I think he'll get a big fight next. Especially if Josh Van gets a title defense. They're going to try to push that rematch, I'm sure. The only man to beat Van. That rhyme didn't even try to do that. But yeah, I think they could push that. But I think Charles Johnson's going to win this. I think it'll be a pretty clear win. It'll be a close fight, competitive fight, but a pretty clear win for Charles Johnson, in my opinion. Next up, we got Nikita Krylov and Modestas Bukauskas. Modi's been looking pretty good since his comeback to the UFC. Not fighting the greatest comp, but he looks imposing. He looks powerful. He looks big and strong. Haven't seen his chin tested in this new run, but I just don't trust Nikita Krylov, you know? He's shown shit fight IQ, no chin in his last 2 fights, and he's coming off a big layoff. Not big layoff now, but before, I think it was like a 2-year layoff from the Dominic Reyes fight, who put him out cold. He came in stupidly. Gets put out cold. And then the Guskov fight comes back 3.5 months later. Bad decision against a power puncher in Guskov. A knockout guy. Gets chin after he darts in, like stupidly, in the first round. And his chin's fucked. Like 2 back-to-back times like that. I know his chin was already fucked coming back 3 months later. But he's only coming back 6 months later now. After getting chin twice in a 3-month span. I think it's a recipe for disaster. Same shit's gotta happen. He's gonna get put out in round 1, maybe round 2 if he's a little more hesitant, tries to work in the grappling a little bit. But I think Modestas Bukauskas, he's shown good ability to counter. And I mean, with the chin situation, like, we might have seen it with Brandon Royval. Has a war with Joshua Van, gets dropped, and comes back a few months later against a powerful guy, and gets fucking dropped easy. First clean shot that lands, get fucking put out. It could be the case. Or just be Manel Kape has a lot of power, which he does for flyweight. Maybe even Stipe, after the first Francis fight, took some big bombs. Didn't get, I don't know if he got dropped, but it was a decision. Comes back 5 months later, gets chinned by Daniel Cormier in the first round. I think it's going to be like that. Modestas Bukauskas, the chin Nikita Krylov, late first round, maybe early second. But I'm going to go first round for this one as well. I think Nikita Krylov, he tries to dart in. It's going to be dangerous, like always, and he's going to get fucking chinned. Next up, Atiba Gauthier versus Andrei Pulyaev. Andre, step up from his last few opponents, you know? Is he going to emote after he gets hit with a big shot? Is he going to die from being in the clinch? I don't think so, but I think he has the ability to be bullied. We saw that Christian Lee Duncan fight. He didn't get finished, but just being able to put on the back foot, push up against the cage, and just kind of be beat up. Because Christian Lee Duncan, he doesn't have the finishing potential or like the power of Atiba Gauthier. His power comes from like the spinning attacks where you kind of have to load up. The attack itself is what generates the power, not like his hands or something, you know? It's like the spinning elbow, spinning back fist, kicks. And Atiba Gauthier, he's at middleweight Ngannou, but more technical. He can find his shots better, picks better shots, more accurate. And I think he's going to impose his will on Andrei Pulyaev and just put him on his back foot, get him up against the cage and just land big, nasty shots like he always does and put him out in the first round. I think this is like, it's another layup for him, another setup. You know, maybe he could get someone good. I want to see him one more fight before the rankings because I think it's like middleweight's a shallow division. I don't even know who's outside the rankings. Maybe Marvin Vettori test his chin a little bit. That would just be another beatdown on another setup. A RoboCop Ferreira would be good options, but they're fighting each other, of course. A loser of that may be good, but later on in the year maybe because of the timelines on that matchup. Because those guys are probably going to get, one of them's going to get knocked out, and they're going to need to fight up. Well, the one that knocks out needs some time off, and Atiba's going to need a fight before then. They're fighting in 2 months' time, or about a month and a half. But timelines are better. I think it'll be a good fight. But yeah, he's just gonna get an easy knockout here. I want to see him fight someone who has some power on the feet, who has some good grappling and wrestling, and I want to really see that tested. See how he does defensively, of course, on the ground and stuff, but also on the feet. When he has something coming his way, some danger coming his way, because he hasn't had nothing yet. First fight, Jose Medina just fucking gets kneed in the face. Second fight, Robert Valentin, same thing. Just gets beat up. And Tristan Vines, who looked like he was 2 weight classes below and scared to fight. So I feel bad for the guy, but just looks scared to fight. So I think he's going to get round 1 TKO here, the usual. And now for this fight, Figgy Umar. What is Figgy going to do in this fight? Umar's a minus 1,400 favorite. Should be a big favorite, but that's a little crazy, as the T was only a 900, minus 900, I think, or minus 1,000, something like that. But it's like, what is Figgy going to do? He's older. He's up a weight class now. He's not the same Marauder Destroyer that he was at flyweight. He hasn't shown that at all. Still holds power, which is where I think he'll have his moment in this fight to maybe scare Umar. Like the one time he's gonna have real success is if he drops Umar with a big right hand, which I could see sometime in this fight. But like his last fight against Montel Jackson, he didn't look good. It was a very stale performance. Arguably lost. I gave him the win, but he arguably lost. Before that, he looked against Corey Sandhagen. He looked fat and old, and got like just weird fight, weird performance. He looked better last fight. Looks better here, but I just think it's like, what is he gonna do? Umar's gonna have the grappling, the wrestling advantage, the speed, the striking advantage. Figgy just has the power. This is a weird matchup for me. I don't really like it. It's kind of useless for Umar, but I think it'll be one-sided. Umar needs to finish in this fight. I think it'll be 30-27, 29-28, maybe. If that one 29-28 round is where Figgy drops him and does some more damage, and it was a kind of a stale round. But Umar needs to make a statement. He needs to finish Figgy. Like, finish him. If you want a title shot. Because Sean O'Malley, if he gets to win, and Jan gets to win in the trilogy versus Merab, which I think he will, he's going to get the title shot. Like, no-brainer. And if Merab wins, then Umar will probably get it, because we're not going to see Sugar 3. But it's more likely Purion wins and Sean O'Malley wins, and they're going to lock up, and you're going to need another fight. Maybe against Merab 2 for a contender fight. That would be pretty cool. Like a fight night headliner. That would be dope. But, yeah, I don't think he's going to get a title shot. And I also hate his fans. His fans are annoying as fuck. They act like he's some fucking god killer, fucking almighty being. And he's just Umar, dude. Like, I don't care. Okay? Like, I don't care about him, bro. I don't like him because his fans. His fans are annoying. I love Islam. I'm not a Dagestani hater. I love Islam. Islam's one of my favorite fighters. It's just Umar fans for some reason. I don't know. So my picks for the prelims, I got Ty Miller round 1 or 2 TKO. Josh Hockett round 1 TKO. Michael Johnson round 2 TKO. Charles Johnson decision. Modi by round 1 TKO. Atiba round 1 TKO. And Umar decision. Now on to the main card. The autistic battle. Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. Where I see Arnold Allen, Southpaw versus Orthodox. Where I see Arnold Allen having some success. His kicks to the body, his left hand to the body, because Gene Silva's a little open to that. His jab. When they crash in, when Gene Silva, because Gene Silva likes to plant and really hit hard in the boxing combos, throw some boxing combos, like really plant his feet. Some success with the elbows and the hooks there, but he doesn't have much power. That's a problem. And he's deficient defensively in his entries. And against Gene Silva, who has a good jab, a good right hand, a good left lead hook, check hook, good kicks as well, nice spinning attacks too. I think he's gonna fuck him up. Gene Silva's gonna fuck Arnold Allen up. It's a bad matchup for Arnold Allen in my opinion. He could win, but I just don't see it. He has no power coming back. They match in speed, but I think Gene Silva's a better, more accurate, potent striker. More power, of course. More tools in his tool bag, you know. And I think Arnold Allen, he likes to lunge forward when he comes in. You're bound for a fucking check hook. Drew Dober did the same shit, just got fucking tagged after tagged after tagged. And Arnold Allen's a little chinny. I don't think he's been TKO'd in his career, or at least in the UFC. But he has that chinny aspect. He got dropped by Movzar, dropped by Max. Actually, Movzar is the worst out of all. And it was like a jab. Might have been a hook, lead hook, but I think it was a jab. He got dropped. That's how I see this fight going. In the second round, probably, I'd give Gene Silva TKO. And honestly, like, if he doesn't make stupid... I think he'll also learn from his mistakes in the Diego fight. If he doesn't make stupid decisions, he wins. Like I said, if my grandma had a male part, she'd be my uncle. Or Fuck, if my aunt had male parts, she'd be my uncle. Like that shit. I know I said that already, I think, for Diego Ferreira, but it's like Gene Silva gave up his back in the first round and gets put in full mount and just gets elbowed in the head. Looks like an impulse grenade. He did a stupid ass spinning attack, gets his back taken. Yes, Diego capitalized on his mistakes, but Gene Silva survived and got up and then made the second round, beat the shit out of Diego until he got caught. Diego was practicing that move, that spinning elbow, practicing for it, game planned it, which is impressive on his end, but I think it's because they know Gene Silva makes stupid ass mistakes. He fought way too overzealous, way too emotional, and I don't think he'll do that here. Maybe if Arnold Allen gets in his head, he's too autistic, like too quiet, awkward for him, too nice. Maybe Gene Silva gets a little pissed. Be more like me. Well, I don't know. But I think just Gene Silva's going to learn from his mistakes, fight a little less crazy, fight a little less open, be more defensively sound, and less emotional, and not get ahead of himself, hopefully, because I want my pick to be right. I'm not the greatest Israeli soldier we've ever seen, but I think Gene Silva will chin Arnold Allen in the second round with that lead hook or like a jab, even a right hand. But because as Allen comes in, I said it's too defensively irresponsible. So that's my pick for that one. Next up, Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. Rose good outside striking, could mix in the wrestling a little bit, but I think Natalia Silva, she's beautiful, and she's gonna be able to use her movement, her distance management, which is really good. Her kicks are really good. I think she's able to pitter patter, dance around the octagon, and mesmerize all of us to a decision win. There's not much to say about this. I don't really care. So yeah, decision win for Natalia Silva. Next up, Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. This would be a fun one. Derek Lewis, is not really much technical breakdown you could do for him. It's mostly just fluky big shots and an explosive kick, explosive movement. And you're like, wow, he could do that at that age and that size? Whoa. Waldo Cortez Acosta, very good boxing fundamentals. Good hands, good footwork, movement, speed for a heavyweight. He has good counter abilities, nice right hand off the counter. But I think he's a little too comfortable on the back foot, getting up against the cage and kind of rolling with the punches, which is Derek Lewis. That's where fluke territory. He gets you against the cage, he can land a big looping shot or uppercut, whatever it may be, which is where he could get in trouble. He could even mix in the wrestling, Waldo Cortez, but I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to try to make a statement, knock out Derek Lewis, which I think he will. I think he's going to land, like, as Derek Lewis throws a big shot, I think Waldo will catch him first with that right hand. Is a really good, like, straight into your chin right hand. It's accurate. It's nice, like even a pullback counter or something like that. It's to be one of those where Derek Lewis like just looks like he quit. But yeah, Waldo's not one of these taxi cab drivers, bro. He's very good in my opinion. He had a good boxing career. 10 fights, 6-4, 3 knockouts, I think, 3 or 4 knockouts. Like getting knocked out. And somehow he comes in the MMA, has a granite chin, which I think will help here. He's a good chin, good power. Like I said, he's good boxing fundamentals, but on the back foot, he's very good as well. Good footwork, faster than Derek Lewis. And Derek Lewis, I don't think we've seen him lose. When was the last time he lost? Was it 2023? Because I know he fought Rogerio Zalima. He did the flying knee. Then he fought Nascimento, the taxi cab driver. And then he fought Teixeira. Those are his, if I remember correctly, those are his last 3 fights. Let me look that up real quick. Yeah, he only had Nascimento. On the way to Jolton Almeida stinker. Okay, late 2023. I forgot about that. That fight was terrible. I'll never forget Jolton Almeida like in full mount, not doing any damage, just holding Derek Lewis's hands back or some shit like that. That picture. And then there's another one of Jolton there. He gets distracted by a fly. That was funny. But yeah, I think Waldo Cortez Acosta gets a KO, counter KO. And gets him out of there. Round 1. Could mix in the wrestling and get a decision, but I don't think he'll do that. Next up, Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Sean O'Malley is going to beat Yadong by decision, I think. Song Yadong, he has a lot of skills to be a great fighter. I think he's good, but not great. He's very good. He has a boxing, he has a power, he has a speed, the wrestling. But there's just something about him. He just can't put it. It seems like he can't put it together. You know, he's one of those guys. Has all the tools, all the skills, but just can't put it together. And his Henry Cejudo fight did not impress me at all. Watching that back for 323, watching Henry Cejudo tape, I was like, really? Was this close? And Song Yadong, I thought Song Yadong was like more one-sided, but no. And no way Henry Cejudo got that washed from March to December, where Tate Talbot could just dominate him because he's so fucking ass and washed, and Song Yadong can't. It's a battle of the distance. Sean O'Malley's gonna. It's either Song Yadong getting his boxing ranges or Sean O'Malley staying on the outside like he does. I think Sean O'Malley's better at doing that than Song Yadong is going to be better at getting his boxing going. He could get in close, land some combos, land some right hands. I think he's not going to knock out Sean O'Malley. He could, but I don't think so. Sean O'Malley's got a good jab, good 1-2, nice teep and front kicks, good movement, good footwork. He's very good at evading shots. I think against Piotr Jan, he won in a lot of striking exchanges. Lost because of wrestling, or that's why he would have lost if you gave Jan the fight probably. And Song Yadong's not the boxer, he's not the wrestler Piotr Jan is. More power, of course, but you also respect the power of Sean O'Malley coming back. If he lands clean on you on a counter, you could get sat down. So I think Sean O'Malley's just to be able to impose his range better and take this to a decision. I don't think he'll knock Song Yadong out. Song Yadong's a very talented fighter in terms of the... not talented, what am I saying? He's a very hard fighter to put out. And I think Sean O'Malley's going to take this by decision. It'll be a close fight, competitive. But I think Song Yadong does provide some danger, but Sean O'Malley's just the better fighter in my opinion. He's not going to get out-wrestled, I don't think. He's not going to get knocked out, and he's not going to be able to get out-boxed for 3 rounds. Just let Song Yadong get in the boxing ring and just beat him up. No, it's not happening. Sean O'Malley by decision. Now onto the main event. An amazing fight we have. Such a hard fight for me to pick, you know? Justin Gaethje, of course, is going to have the striking advantage. Paddy Pimblett, the grappling advantage. And, of course, there's routes for every... Especially main events, there's going to be a route for every single fighter to win. But I feel like this one's a little different because it's like... Gaethje obviously has to keep it in feet. Paddy has to get it to the ground. But that the way Paddy's going to get on the ground, Gaethje's going to keep it off the ground... Who's going to do that better? Who's going to have the better wrestling? That's where it's very interesting to me. Gaethje, of course, has a nice jab, low kicks. Has to be his game here. Paddy is going to be also low kick heavy. Is kick heavy in general. Jab, whatever. He also gets a little too backed up to the fence. Like allows himself to be backed up to the fence, chin up in the air. Looks for like counters with not much setup. They both do naked low kicks, but I think Paddy's are a little worse. They can both be effective in the low kicks as well, I think. And Paddy, the thing with him, it's like he's obviously going to have the grappling advantage. If he could force the grappling with Gaethje, get a lot of grappling going, he's going to win this fight by submission. But will he be able to do that? I don't fucking know. This is a hard... I'm making this pick right now. I watched film earlier. I'm like, what the fuck, though? Paddy Pimblett against Chandler, where I think he's going to have to get Gaethje is like, he's not going to be able to single leg, double leg him out in the open. No. He's going to have to get him up against the cage, or get him in a clinch and like judo throw, trips, or jumping triangle like he did against Chandler. But it's like Chandler's Gaethje in the clinch is so dangerous. Uppercuts, hooks, like, and thing he did good against Fiziev, he had his hips back, which I think might be good for the triangle. He could like slip out or not get like Paddy get like a good grip on him, or like prevent the trips, prevent throws, have a better center of gravity. But it's like. But the part where Paddy can get him to the ground is catching the low kicks. Because Fiziev did that 40 seconds in, and then like 30 seconds later does it again. Got him in an inverted triangle. Forced a scramble out of Justin Gaethje, which Fiziev's not some submission artist. Paddy Pimblett is. Paddy Pimblett's going to lock something up and threaten you if you try to scramble. So I think Paddy Pimblett has to catch those low kicks like Fiziev did early on, threaten it. Early on. Which is difficult. I think he's a little taller. I think it'll actually be harder for him because he's taller. He has to reach down a little more. Gaethje could even catch him because he's have to be like really get down. We know Paddy has chin ups always, but that's a spot because if Paddy forces a scramble with Justin, I think he's gonna catch him in a sub. Could see him jump the triangle, like I said, but that's it for like how Paddy's gonna get him to the ground. He has to do it that way, which I'm just curious as to see if he will, because he really could. Especially in the clinch. I think he could have success jumping the triangle, honestly. But on the feet, obviously, Justin Gaethje is the clear advantage. by far. Power, technical ability. Now, this fight, what makes me want to... Another interesting aspect is the pace. What pace will this be fought at? On one hand, I could see a high pace. Gaethje and Pimblett trading strike for strike, low kick for low kick, trying to get up in the clinch to Paddy get him to the ground just to have his success there. Paddy trying to grapple, wrestle, and Gaethje kind of putting some volume on him, like the Ferguson fight where he took it to the deep waters and just beat him up, volume KO. I could see for Paddy because Paddy's showing some deficiencies in the conditioning, in the cardio. And if Justin Gaethje does get a knockout, I think it will be later on in the fight, like round 4, maybe late round 3, but round 4 I'd say. Just from just wearing Paddy out, beating him up, if it's a high-paced fight. Because a mix of, I don't think it's going to be too high-paced, but it'll be a decent pace where these guys are throwing a lot of strikes. There's some clinch work, there's some wrestling attempts and things like that. Maybe some scrambles, maybe some groundwork. But I think what's it called? This fight, like as it goes on like that, Gaethje beating you up and having a pace, and Paddy's a muscular guy who cuts a lot of weight. That could really affect him. So I think if Justin gets the job done, it'll be a later TKO, like round 4, I'd say. Paddy Pimblett, if he gets it done, will be like a early first half of the fight sub, like probably first 10 minutes. Before he catches a low kick or gets him on the ground, forces a scramble, and just gets a sub. Now I could also see a slower pace where it's like jab, leg kick, just chill. Try to get up in the clinch, maybe try to wrestle. Just a little slower pace on the feet and even the wrestling. Which I don't know. I just don't see it going that way. I see more so being a higher paced fight, like above average pace at least. And I could see Paddy, subbing Justin. It's very 50-50 fight. But, I'm going to go Justin Gaethje by TKO round 4. I had a very difficult time picking this. I did this in the pre-recorded one, the one that I recorded before that fucked up. I picked Justin Gaethje. I was just fence sitting. But I think Gaethje, right? I think Gaethje's able to get it done. I think he's able to keep this fight on the feet most of the time. And if Paddy jumps triangle, I think that'll be safer for Gaethje than obviously if Paddy catches a leg kick and forces a scramble. But I think Justin Gaethje's able to pour it on and get a round 4 TKO versus Paddy Pimblett. Let's fucking do this. Please, Justin Gaethje. If you're hearing us, please save us, Justin Gaethje. But I think he'll get it done, honestly. I'm not going to be surprised if Paddy wins, subs him easy, but I don't know. I'm doing my gut feeling, watching the tape, thinking about it. I think Justin Gaethje is going to win this fight by TKO, round 4. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Very difficult fight for me to pick, but the rest are pretty straightforward. So, catch you in the next one. Let's do this thing. We are so back.